Hello everyone, welcome to Flower Mound Town Matters. I'm Kaylin Clement, thanks for joining us. On this special Year in Review episode, we're going to take a look back at some of the most significant events, initiatives, and milestones that occurred in 2015. If your commute includes FM 2499 from Denton Creek to State Highway 121, you're no stranger to the ongoing construction project underway in the area. TxDOT's DFW Connector project is a $1 billion reconstruction, and this particular area is just one piece to a much larger puzzle. Take a look back at a story we brought you last January, detailing the project and offering insight as to why the outcome of this project will be well worth the current traffic woes. If you live, work, or travel in the area of FM 2499 near Grapevine Mills Boulevard, traffic cones, signs, and lots of brake lights may be a common sight encountered by motorists. But what some may not know is that this project is just a small piece of a much larger puzzle.
The DFW Connector is a $1 billion reconstruction of State Highways 114, 121, and other roads north of the DFW airport.
Work on FM 2499 is in full swing, and while slowdowns for commuters are common, Stieg said this particular area was well known for traffic problems long before work began.
The goal of the 2499 construction project is to improve mobility, basically allowing drivers to travel through the project faster. And it primarily benefits people who commute on 2499. Commuters will be able to bypass Stars and Stripes Way and Grapevine Mills Boulevard, which are the two intersections where they currently travel.
This TxDOT project is ongoing and not expected to be fully complete until 2017, a date that may seem far away, but Stieg promises it'll be worth the wait.
Currently, traffic on 2499 is very congested because commuters must travel through two lights. Once the project is complete, commuters and city travelers will have the choice. They can either travel on new frontage roads or depressed or lowered main lanes that go underneath those two intersections. Coming up this year, we will be opening the new Stars and Stripes Way Bridge, and we'll also finish the first portion of the Grapevine Mills Boulevard Bridge. And commuters can also expect to see additional construction on the new depressed main lanes that are basically the big hole in the middle of 2499.
One way commuters are urged to help themselves during this project is by staying connected.
Commuters can find more information by signing up for our weekly email alerts, which we send out every Friday. Commuters can also go to the DFW Connector website or download our iPhone app.
There is also a link to the DFW Connector project site on the town's homepage, www.flower-mound.com. Construction on FM 2499 is more than 75% complete, and according to a project representative, some major milestones for the project are on track for 2016. This includes opening the new lowered southbound lanes of FM 2499 and beginning work on the southbound frontage road. Flower Mound became even safer in 2015 as the town's outdoor severe weather warning siren system grew to 19 located throughout the community. Take a look at where these sirens are placed, why they're placed where they are, and what criteria must be met in order to prompt activation. When the atmosphere is unstable, a sky full of sunshine can quickly become dark and threatening at the drop of a hat, and suddenly your outdoor activity is interrupted by this sound.
The outdoor warning sirens are meant to alert those that are engaged in outdoor activities. These individuals are more at risk to severe weather and therefore need to be alerted to seek shelter immediately. The outdoor warning sirens, again, aren't meant for those that are indoors, but if you are indoors, you could possibly hear the sirens based on where you live in relation to a siren or conditions that are present outdoors at that time.
Flower Mound's outdoor warning sirens are activated when one or more of the following three weather events are confirmed.
Tornado warning, hail greater than 1.25 inches in diameter, and straight line winds in excess of 70 miles per hour.
The sirens will produce a steady tone for 3 minutes.
When the siren's activated for a severe weather event, it'll have a steady tone for 3 minutes. However, the siren head rotates and projects in a 360-degree radius. And so while people are hearing the siren, it'll sound like the tone is coming and going, whereas it's actually a steady tone.
According to Barth, it's important to understand the difference between the outdoor warning sirens and lightning detectors.
You can find lightning detectors at a lot of the larger town parks, as well as all of the Louisville Independent School District campuses in town. They go off when they detect lightning within a certain mile radius. These go off pretty frequently during storms, and people confuse them a lot with the outdoor warning sirens.
Flower Mound currently has 19 sirens placed strategically throughout the town.
This is an increase of 8 over the last year when we had about 11. So we've expanded our coverage area quite significantly. We have additional plans to expand the network even more as the west end of town continues to build out. But currently we were working on a lot of the existing infrastructure and building out the network there. And while we're expanding the outdoor warning siren network, we ask that people that are engaged in outdoor activities use common sense, keep an eye on the weather, keep an eye on the radar apps on their phone, and just be aware that conditions can change rapidly.
Simply stay informed about the town's severe weather plan, and you'll always be prepared. To learn more or see the siren location map again, visit www.flower-mound.com/sirens. The month of May marked a monumental milestone for the town, when town officials, local senior citizens, and excited members of the community gathered to celebrate the grand opening of the long-awaited Flower Mound Senior Center, located at 2701 West Windsor Drive. This new state-of-the-art 22,000 square foot building features a fitness room, a full commercial kitchen, game room, computer area, a library, and so much more. The grand opening event culminated with a ceremonial ribbon cutting. If you'd like to learn more about Seniors in Motion and all the great events and programs, log on to www.flower-mound.com/seniors. This past April, Flower Mound Police Department grew by 1. In this next story, we got to know Paige, a specially trained, hand-selected, and vital member of FMPD. Flower Mound Police Department, a force of 88 men and women sworn to protect and serve this town, recently grew by 1.
Paige is a 1-year, 7-month-old Belgian Malinois. She comes to us from the Netherlands, and she came with a passport, and she is a single-purpose narcotics dog.
Paige was handpicked by Officer Dolan a few months prior to her April 2015 start with FMPD.
Once they brought out Paige, it was sort of love at first sight kind of a thing. I knew immediately. Her attitude, her demeanor, it was perfect. I knew we'd work well together. She loves to have fun, but when it's business, it's business. She's ready to work.
Paige's specialty is narcotics detection.
These working dogs, when they are younger and show that type of drive, they know that they have the ability to become a law enforcement or military dog. Not all dogs that sort of go through that special program, if you will, even make it.
In addition to Paige's sharp nose and attention to detail, Paige is fast.
Here. Good girl.
When Paige isn't working, she's adjusting quite nicely as Officer Dolan's family pet.
When Paige is at home, she's not working. We make it very clear to her that she actually has a uniform. She has a collar that says K9 Police, and that's her uniform. She knows when that goes on, she's going to be in a Flower Mound Police unit and that we're going to work. When she gets home, being a girl, I asked her what she wanted. She said a pink or purple collar, so we got her that. She gets home, the work collar comes off, and the purple one goes on, and she knows she's done working.
Officer Dolan and Paige already make a great team, but if you asked Officer Dolan, he wouldn't change his partner for the world.
The difference between a human partner and a K9 partner is incredibly difficult to explain. To have a K9 partner, it is a friendship, a bond, a partnership, a family. She is my partner, She is an officer. She's a tool for this city. She's a tool for other officers. And it's my responsibility to take care of her. And that comes with a lot of responsibility.
Officer Dolan and K-9 Officer Page are at your service. When it comes to weather in 2015, one word can be used to sum it up: wet. In fact, according to the National Weather Service, 2015 has been Dallas-Fort Worth's wettest year on record. What seemed like constant spring rainfall caused Grapevine Lake to rise to unprecedented levels, topping the 560-foot spillway and forcing the closure of Fairway Drive, commonly known as the Dam Road, on May 29th. Then, not even a month later, Tropical Depression Bill made a big appearance on June 17th, dumping 4 to 10 inches of rain in less than 48 hours, thus beginning a ripple effect that will go down in history. Mayor Tom Hayden signed a disaster declaration. FM 2499 was closed for several days in both directions as water from Grapevine Lake spilled uncontrollably into Denton Creek and the surrounding area. Apartments in nearby Grapevine were evacuated. Homes in western Flower Mound were inaccessible to their owners because of flooded roadways. Twin Coves Park and Merle Park quickly disappeared under the rising water and were forced to close. Police, fire, and public works staff worked around the clock monitoring conditions and disseminating information to residents. FM 2499 was reopened to motorists on June 25th. Fairway Drive, however, was not without water until July 16th. That's 49 days after the initial closing. Following some major cleanup by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, the Dam Road reopened to motorists on July 17th. Twin Coves Park will remain closed until the fall of 2016. Extensive cleanup was needed following the flooding, and now construction is underway on 19 furnished cabins and 18 new RV slips, in addition to a variety of other park amenities. Shovels met the dirt on June 25th, marking a historic day for the town of Flower Mound, when local business leaders broke ground on the Courtyard by Marriott Riverwalk Hotel. Flower Mound's first hotel will be 5 stories, 145 guest rooms, 39 of which will offer beautiful views of the Riverwalk. The hotel will also feature a restaurant and bar, pool, exercise room, and an outdoor seating area with multiple fireplaces. Courtyard by Marriott operates 1,000 hotels worldwide in 38 countries, and with this groundbreaking celebration, Flower Mound is put on the map, offering an upscale hotel in this town of nearly 70,000 residents. New Era Hotels and Resorts will manage the hotel, which is expected to be open in early 2017. In other hotel news, Lakeside DFW, an ongoing development on 150 acres overlooking Grapevine Lake, was selected as the site of Flower Mound's second hotel. Learn more about plans to make the Pearl on the peninsula a reality. Scott Tarwater and Alan Stewart have something in common. They both called this 25-acre piece of land nestled along the shores of Grapevine Lake home at one time.
Prior to Lake Grapevine being here, we farmed all of this land, and so I would get up early in the morning, have my breakfast, do my chores, get on my horse or my bicycles, and this pearl was mine to have every day. I had the life of Riley, and to be able to share that now with the residents of Flower Mound, I just can't even begin to tell you how much that means to me personally.
The 25-acre peninsula is part of Lakeside DFW, which was started to be assembled by my father in 1973. This property we purchased from the Tarwater family and Scott Tarwater, who represented his family over 30 years ago. So this property has basically remained virtually the same as when we purchased it.
Collectively, the two families held on to this piece of property for more than a century, knowing full well it would be destined for something great.
The peninsula is particularly exciting because this is my father's dream. This area is actually my father's property, and Sunset Legacy represents my father's specific interests. And he has, when he purchased this property, DFW was about 10 years old, and he said, I vision an international hotel overlooking the lake for DFW Airport.
That vision of the Tarwater and Stewart families took a step toward becoming reality when, at a May 2015 Town Council meeting, initial plans for the Pearl on the peninsula were unveiled.
The Pearl on the Peninsula is going to be an absolutely incredible facility for the residents of Flower Mound to enjoy. Not only will we have incredibly beautiful facilities complemented with upscale restaurants, boutiques, working on a beautiful spa, and conference facilities that will allow the Chamber of Commerce, all of the businesses now, and those that are coming to bring their guests, their clients, right here in Flower Mound.
So this project, we must thank all the residents of Flower Mound who have been highly involved in the design and expressing their wants and desires for what they would like to see in public spaces, etc., within this property. So this, if you look at the website, is referred to as Lakeside Village. It's now being translated into the peninsula. And the reason why we're going to the peninsula terminology is because you can see 270 degrees of water from this site. Makes it very unusual in the marketplace. There's nothing else in North Texas that has this.
It is believed that this luxury hotel and conference center will bring a spark to this town, unlike anything we've seen before.
The economic impact of developing hotels like this and like the Riverwalk, every time I have found historically we stick a shovel in the ground, magical things happen. Those companies and opportunities that are sitting on the sidelines waiting for someone to be first. So we'll have first hotels, first conference centers, first restaurants. All the others that are sitting on the sidelines start going, I don't want to get left behind. You hold the pen, I'll move the paper. And then they began to come in droves.
The new anticipated opening of the Pearl on the Peninsula is late 2016 to early 2017. Another monumental groundbreaking took place this year, and now construction on the Hound Mound at Heritage Park, the town's new dog park, is nearly complete. Parks and Recreation staff gathered with excited residents, both two- and four-legged, on June 5th to break ground on the 5-acre park located on the northeast side of Spinks and Garden Ridge. The park will have separate fenced areas for small dogs and large dogs, shade structures, landscaping, and irrigation systems, not to mention signage and 40 parking spaces. Hound Mound at Heritage Park will be partially open in January of 2016, with the rest to follow in the next few months. Weather has played a large role in the slight delay of the completed construction. The Flower Mound Fire Department took a new approach to wildfire education this year, and it involved putting feet to pavement and knocking on some doors. Take a look.
Sometimes the best way to get the word out is simply to knock on some doors.
And that's exactly what Flower Mound Fire Department crew members are doing in areas of town most at risk for wildfires.
We chose this neighborhood for public outreach after doing the Denton County Community Wildfire Protection Plan. This neighborhood was identified as an extreme risk for wildfire. A lot of that is because the neighborhood is surrounded by dense brush. Also, a lot of the homes have wood siding, combustible decks, combustible stairs.
Homeowners receiving this knock on the door will be given this booklet full of information on creating a personal wildland fire action guide.
Each home really needs at least about 30 feet of defensible space. Obviously, you can increase that depending on your property size, but within those 30 feet, to not store combustible materials near your home, to keep your grass cut, to keep tree limbs trimmed up so grass doesn't ladder fuel into the trees, and keeping leaf litter and pine straw out of your gutters and off your roof.
This kind of public outreach is just one example of FMFD's joint efforts with Denton County, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and Texas Forest Service to reduce the risk of catastrophic wildfires.
So the Denton County Wildfire Protection Plan was something that the county decided to do really after the fires of last year, where we had the large fire on the west end of Grapevine Lake, and then also the fire 2 weeks later that occurred near Louisville Lake in Highland Village.
The risk of wildfires is highest anywhere when, obviously, the conditions are driest.
In Texas, our peak wildfire seasons are January to April and July through September. A lot of that is to do in the winter and early spring. A lot of the fuels are still dormant. We have stronger frontal winds coming from the north, and then July through September, we experience a lot of late summer drying and drought, and those fuels that grew up during the spring and early summer have been dying off essentially and becoming a light flashy fuel. In addition to this public education outreach, we performed a fuels reduction project earlier this year near the Roanoke Hill subdivision, where some of the invasive undergrowth was removed and some of the tree limbs were trimmed up to help break the fuel load where the Corps of Engineer land abutted the neighborhood. And that project was done in conjunction with the Corps of Engineers as well.
If you'd like more information on town projects, road construction, events, and more, visit the town's website at www.flower-mound.com. Also, stay connected to everything Flower Mound by liking our Facebook page and following us on Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe to the town's YouTube channel as well to catch all the latest town-produced videos. Or if social media isn't for you, sign up for eTown. It's a monthly electronic newsletter delivered straight to your email inbox. You're watching Town Matters, a presentation of the Community Affairs Division. I'm Kaylin Clement. Thanks so much for joining us for this special Year in Review show. Let's all make 2016 a great year in Flower Mound.